Hey artists and art lovers, welcome back to another episode. I hope you're fine and doing well. So I recently got these expert color pencil from Arteza, which is relatively a new company, but they have an absolutely extensive range of art supplies on their website. So one of the most important thing about these pencils is that they are very cheap, but the quality of these pencils doesn't reflect their price. And that's exactly the reason why I selected this brand from all those expensive and well-known brands. If you watched my previous videos, you may have got this point till now that it's all about your skill level. You don't need those expensive pencils to get your desired results. Obviously they are easier to handle and you get whole lot of shades, but I think it's not worth it considering their price. If you are a millionaire, you can buy those art supplies or maybe gift them to me, but I can't spend all my money on those expensive art supplies. So I prefer these cheaper brands like Faber-Castell Classic or Arteza Expert Color Pencils. So basically I contacted several different companies like Castle Art Supplies, Marco, Arteza and etc. But none of them were able to ship their products to Pakistan. So I have a friend in UK who played her role as an accomplice and helped me in this campaign. She's also an artist and according to her, Arteza is the only brand which is worth investing some time in. Because as I said, the quality of these pencils is amazing and doesn't reflect their price. So long story short, I got these expert color pencils from Arteza along with some other art supplies, which I will definitely feature in my future videos. And obviously I had to pay shipping charges, custom charges and blah blah blah. But I think these are worth investing my money in. And I hope I can use them to create more awesome content for you guys. By the way, the link of all the products I will use in this video are in the description. So let's open this up and see what they are capable of. So as you know, I was previously using a 48 classic colored pencil box from Faber-Castell. And now I have this 72 colored pencil box, which is really a good improvement. These are the expert color pencils which are specially designed for professional artists. So in the back side of this box we have these whole lot of shades and color tones written alongside their names and color codes. Which means I don't have to make a color palette in my future drawings. Or maybe I will, we will see about that. They have break resistant, soft and thick lead, which is really a good thing. Because I never had any issue with my Faber-Castell classic colors. And it will be a disappointment if they do not actually perform better under pressure. So anyways, according to my knowledge, these are the wax-based pencils, which means it should feel like Prismacolors, because Prismacolors are also wax-based pencils. And they have this kind of replacement guarantee. If your product doesn't perform properly, you can contact them for replacement. So let's open the box and have a look inside. Wow, looks beautiful. I always wanted this much of colors with me. Although I only used few of them, but it's like a dream come true. So basically I did whole lot of research before applying for and getting this product. And the reviews were fascinating. Most of the people said they are really satisfied with the performance of these colors. They feel like Prismacolors on paper and sharp like polychromos. Although I never had this opportunity to try either Prismacolor or polychromos, but I really hope these Arteza colors will perform better than my previous colors. So anyways, the wood quality looks good. And according to the website description, this round barrel is approximately 8mm and the core is 4.5 or so. On the other side we have this color name printed on it along with the color code which corresponds to the pigment color. And in the end they have their light fastness written. Basically these plus signs you can see here represents the light fastness of each color pencil. It describes how resistant to fading it is when exposed to light. Like if you have 1+ on a pencil, it will give you like 100 years of light fastness and stuff like that. And then comes the medium light fastness with 2+ and so on. So anyways, I don't think it really matters at this stage because we all are learners. And also there are so many different preservation techniques nowadays. So it's not a big deal right now. But anyways, I recently came across this specific review of Arteza colored pencils by this channel, The Art Gear Guide. And I really like the way he honestly examined each and everything about these colors. So I highly recommend this video if you want an in-depth review of these colors. Link is in the description. So in my honest opinion, I think these colored pencils are worth buying in this price of $29 US. And after reading all the reviews on different websites, I believe I can use them as an alternative for polychromos and Prismacolors. So I'll be using these specific colors for all of my future drawings from now on. And you can consider buying these specific pencils because it will be easier for you to follow along. Or you can just use whatever pencil you have if you don't feel like buying this one. Because as I say, it's not about the pencils or tools. It's all about your skill level and the time you invest in your drawings. Okay, so the second product I wanted to show you is this 80 sheet drawing pad from Arteza. But I haven't tried this one yet, so I'll share my review during the drawing process. Although I noticed one thing after going through this pad and checking the paper quality. And I think the paper is a little bit light. I mean, you can even see through this if you have a strong light in front of you. So in my opinion, they can reduce the number of sheets to 40 or 50 and increase the weight of a paper to 200 or 250 GSM. Currently it's 130 GSM. But anyways, it's not a big deal right now and I can change my review if this paper performs better in the drawing process. So I already drew this rough outline of an eagle and I always draw these rough outlines using grid method or freehand in this specific case. So I've detached the paper of the drawing pad and now I'm gonna paste it on my table with the help of this masking tape. And it will also help create a perfect white border for my artwork. And here's the reference image which I downloaded from Google Images, and the link of both the reference image and grid reference is in the description. So first of all, I have selected all the colors from the box which I think are present in our required color tones. And now I'm gonna make a color palette from all the selected colors and it will help me reduce my selections to the ones which generally matches my required color tones. You just have to compare the palette colors with the reference and you will notice the difference yourself. Like this yellow sapphire is a little bit greenish yellow and is not present anywhere in the reference. But this lemon yellow is present in this area between the eye and beak. And same is the process for all the remaining colors. So I've selected these 10 colors and you can pause the video right here to note down these selections. Okay, so first of all I'm gonna grab this lemon yellow and fill the beak with a base layer. By the way, you can find the real-time tutorial on my Patreon profile. Link is in description. Okay, now I'm gonna grab this Tuscan sun and add the second layer, just a little bit. Now I'm gonna grab this pumpkin orange and add the third layer. Just like most of my drawing, this was also an experiment because I never tried a textured paper in my life. And believe me or not, it was really a frustrating experience. I always use a smooth paper like ordinary hard white chart or cartridge paper for my drawings and never tried any other paper until now. But after this experience, I would say we should always go for a smoother paper. I don't know if you will agree, but this is what I experienced so far. Anyways, now I'm gonna take this Noir black and add this darker line between the beak. And also add a slight shade of pumpkin orange around this line. Okay, now I'm gonna take this pewter gray and add the contrast. Another thing I noticed in this experience is that the rough and textured surface of the paper wastes a lot of color. And as a result, the color runs out really fast. So anyways, after adding the contrast, grab your jelly roll pen and add these white lines as a highlight on the beak. You can also use a whitener aka correction pen for this purpose. Okay, now moving on to this eye portion. First of all, I'm gonna darken this pupil with Noir black. And now I'm gonna darken this iris outline with the same Noir black. Now I'm gonna grab this smoke gray and fill the iris with a base layer. And also add these small texture lines and a little bit of contrast with pewter gray. You can also add these white texture lines in between with a gel roll pen. Okay, now I'm gonna grab this lemon yellow again and extend the base layer to the lower side. Now I'm gonna grab this smoke gray and add the second layer. And add a slight contrast with pewter gray or Noir black. And also extend this pumpkin orange to the upper side, just a little bit. And you can also add these white highlights along this black line. And you don't have to add this white texture here. I was just experimenting something. Okay, now I'm gonna add the contrast using pewter gray or Noir black, along with a slight shade of pumpkin orange in this portion around the eye. Okay, moving on to these white head feathers, and I'm gonna use this pewter gray to add the contrast. Just add a slight shade in this portion like this, and it will look just like the feathers after we are done with the process. And also shade this right eye with noir black and pumpkin orange. So in order to get perfect results, you can add a base layer with smoke gray and then darken the layer with a pewter gray. You can follow the reference image for this step if you want. Now I'm gonna grab a Trombo Mono Zero eraser and add the highlights in between the darker shades. So I noticed something unusual or different while erasing these colors. As you know, these are wax based colors, so you will get these small sticky eraser crumbs, which permanently sticks to the page if you erase them with a mono eraser. So I tried using this Arteza eraser pencil and it worked like a charm. And now I regret why I gave 3 stars to these eraser pencils in my recent unboxing video. By the way, you can buy this eraser from the link in the description if you want. I think it works perfectly with this specific paper or colors. So anyways, moving on to the background shading. And you can skip this specific step because it's not a compulsory one. I just wanted to experiment and create a slightly greenish black background for this drawing. But I was unable to do so because it looks so odd due to the texture paper. So I shaded complete background with noir black. And as a result, it became the smallest of them all. By the way, I tried using a black pastel to shade this background easily and without wasting my black color. But it didn't work so well on these wax-based color pencils. So I proceeded with the same noir black and tried my best to fill the paper texture to get this perfect background. Okay, so when you are done with the background, grab this espresso black and add these outlines of these wing feathers. Now grab your sienna brown and fill these feathers. Now grab the espresso and add the contrast. And also add a slightly darker shade in the lower feathers using a noir black. Now grab this eraser pencil and add the highlights. Okay, now repeat the same process for this chest portion, but skip the outlining process because we don't need feathers here. Just shade the area with an espresso and add the contrast with noir black. And also add a slight shade in the ending portions of these white feathers. Okay, slowly moving on to this right portion, and the overall process of outlining and shading is same as I did for the left wing. You just have to add some extra amount of contrast in the lower portion. So in my honest opinion, this specific drawing pad is good for those who like to use texture papers because it's smoother than other texture papers and it's good for most of the drawing media. But I'll prefer using an ordinary hard white chart for my future drawings because it's the only smoothest paper I found until now. I'm planning to get an A3 size Stonehenge sketching paper and will definitely make a video on that if I get one because you know it's really difficult to get those high quality art supplies in Pakistan. So anyways, I accidentally lost this small portion of my video due to some technical reasons. But I hope you will complete this portion without any issues. The overall process is same as I did for the left side. So what I think about these colors is that they are far more better than Faber-Castell Classic. As I said, these are wax-based colors but they really have strong cores, which is really good for precise detailing. Also they are amazing for the price and would be great for any skill level. It's all about how you use them and your skill level. So I will strongly recommend these colors if you are going to follow my future tutorials. because I'm planning to use these colors for all of my upcoming drawings. I've provided the link of all the products in the description, and there are two types of links there. One for United States and one for Europe. So make sure you use the correct ones according to your location. Anyways, adding the shades in the white feathers, and with this last step we are done with our drawing. Although it's not up to my level of realism or hyper-realism, but still I'm satisfied with the results. And this sharp white border really looks great. So please consider supporting me on Patreon for some exclusive Patreon-only tutorials, real-time tutorials, grid references, and much more. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram for more tips, tricks, and BTS content. So thank you so much for watching, keep learning, keep drawing, and I'll see you on Saturday with something new and much more exciting.